Okay, everybody, here we go. Are you ready? Because I certainly am. It is Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. Let's start off with this, people, real quick. On the economic front, what did we just find out yet again? And it does not stop. The economy here in the United States and around the world continues to contract. And there is no stopping this. Understand the environment that you and I are currently involved with. Again, we have a global economy crashing in the literal sense here, and it's not going to stop. We have central banks determined to continue that mechanism until, well, they wipe out an entire class of people. They're raising rates, central banks, and still selling the fable that by some miracle, eventually here down the line, by them raising rates, inflation is going to miraculously go away. And nothing could possibly be further from the truth because central banks, well, they continue to inflate. By central banks continuing to inflate, I mean they're buying it all. They are continuing to balloon the global money supply, which is the root cause, number one, of why we're seeing inflation around the world continue to rise. Unbelievable spending packages by not just, the freaks here in Congress in the United States, another 1.7 trillion with billions slaved to go to Ukraine to propagate and advance that war over there. As you know, this is the mechanism. It won't stop. It's how the military-industrial complex operates. It keeps the debt-based economic model going here, and central banks are more than happy. In fact, they're spraying their shorts all over the place. Could you only imagine, just for a second, if you were, I don't know, the Federal Reserve chairman, a Federal Reserve president, so one of these freaks out here, one of them, and you find out that all of a sudden a nearly $2 trillion spending package is just, thrown on the backs of the American people. We don't have the money. Nobody has it around the world. There is not a single developed nation around the world who has a cash surplus. All of this cash must come directly from the central banks. You think that's by accident? Really, honestly? I know you're not that stupid. It's how it works. It must continue to go on and on and on. And this is going to, again, it's a mechanism to dilute the currency or the purchasing power of the currency. Inflation is going to continue to rise. You see, they can't tell anybody this. These are all the secrets that no one is allowed to freaking know. You understand? I think you do. So, with that said, again, economy continues to crater, not just here, but around the world. Energy prices are starting to creep higher again. WTI crude is higher now. It's $80 a barrel and going much, much higher. We had this lull. You all know about this. We've discussed it here on this blog for quite a while. It's not going to last. I have suggested many times for people to get involved in owning some possibly exchange-traded funds that do offer exposure to commodities. For those of you who do subscribe to my free newsletter, you got a whole list of these things. I think that's a place to put some money to work here. Look, we're not going to let the system destroy us, honestly. And if that means we got to play part of this game, then we're going to play it. And we're doing it anyway by betting against the debt, becoming our own central banks. Period. The end. And you all know this since day one. And as I said earlier here, you can expect one thing to happen for absolute sure. I mean, it's a certainty beyond a certainty. Either this global debt is going to continue to soar and go higher and higher and higher as the economy continues to crater around the world. This mechanism is deliberate. It is deliberate. You all know this. And I just want to know one thing. When are people going to start to rise up? When are people going to start to say enough is enough? How about they're never going to do it? Because why? They're being dumbed down, distracted, propagandized, and deceived on an unprecedented scale. And if you think that for a nanosecond is going to get any better, well, you don't know anything at all. That this mechanism here, the brainwashing of the public, the programming of the public mindset via the live vision, watching program after program. Yeah, they're programming your brain. You see, you and me, we disconnect ourselves from the bullshit, the horse shit, the dog shit, the cat shit, and all that stuff too. Anyway, so on the back of what I just talked about here, you got stock futures higher, not by any amazing amount, but higher nonetheless. The real kickoff for the so-called Santa Claus rally started on Friday. We put some gains on. Here's the situation here, and I know you're paying attention to this. As I am doing this video blog, the MMRI continues to climb along with the 10-year yield. As a matter of fact, the MMRI is 246.5 the last time I checked it. Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, link in the description of this video. If this continues moving into next year, Santa Claus rally or not, this is, look, I can't stress to you enough how bad this is, okay? Risk in the market is rising. We're going to stay in here. I'm still in the market. You all know that. When I get out, you know I'm going to tell you, because I told you many times in the past exactly what I have done. Now, I am not, again, and I have to say this because I got in trouble for this twice so far, all right? I am not telling people to buy or sell anything, all right? Greg Mannarino is a target. You all know that. So I got to be very careful about what I say out here. But I'll tell you what I'm doing. And I'm an open book. You all know that too. So just realize what I'm saying here with regard to exposure to commodities. I'm not telling you to do that or not do it. I just believe, in my opinion, that you should gain some exposure here. Gold and silver, obviously. I mean, duh. And if you want to be long this market, dividend paying exchange traded funds, I'm in JEPI, pretty deep. And I think there's opportunity here, but it's going to end. It's going to end at one point here. We all know that. But look, risk in this market is high. Okay, it's not extreme yet. Over 300 is extreme, but the risk is very high here at 246.5. I mean, at 300, we're at extreme risk according to the MMRI. So, I mean, if you don't want to have exposure to this market, let's say on the long end, I can understand that. I totally could. It all comes down to a lot of factors, and no one should ever play with cash that they cannot afford to lose. You all know that. At least I hope so. All right, so let's go back over here. So MMRI higher, risk in this market higher, 10-year yield higher, U.S. dollar relatively flat, slightly negative here. Crude oil, as I said, WTI over just about 80, or just a fraction over $80 a barrel. Cryptocurrency is relatively flat this morning. Bitcoin around 16,800 and change. Gold and silver catching a bit as well. Just real quick with regard to gold and silver, these assets, and to Greg Mannarino, they are the most undervalued assets on the planet. I always say silver is the most undervalued asset on the planet. That's a fact, at least in my book. And I always tell you how to gauge this: Dow gold ratio, gold silver ratio. But gold is also insanely undervalued in this environment where global debt keeps ballooning and ballooning and ballooning and ballooning, as central banks are pushing collectively the global economy literally off of a cliff by design. Okay, and they're taking everybody with them. You understand? So what are you going to do about it? Look, I can sit here and talk, and it's all lovely and it's all fun, okay? But I hope you're taking action here. I hope you understand the situation. You're not just sitting back and just listening to this is a channel for people who want to take action, who understand where we're going and how this is progressing here. And, look, the lies and the tales and the deceptions and the distractions, that should tell you something out of the mainstream here. When they have to propagandize people to this kind of a level, you know that there's a really big problem here. When all the data, all of it, is completely fake and it's fabricated, you know there's a problem. When they're telling you to look here, you know you should be looking in the polar opposite direction, and that's where the truth lies. You understand? This is a game. It's a super game on an unprecedented scale. and it's a rigged game. And look, they are in the literal sense trying to destroy you. They are trying to destroy me. But we're not going to let that happen. You understand? We know what we're doing. We know why we're doing it. And we're not going to stop. We're just going to raise our awareness, keep on top of everything that's happening right now, putting this into a perspective that we can understand, and then taking action. Okay, this is a channel for men and women of action, not just people who are going to sit on their ass and do nothing. You understand? Like a sheep, like a deer in the freaking headlights. All right, anyway, with that said, people, that's where we stand. I hope you got something out of this video. As usual, I do want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Please comment. We'll see how this mythical Santa Claus rally plays out. Like I said, Friday, it really kicked off. We got a little rally here. The market's at least going to open higher today, but keep your eye on risk. People, we have the golden tool, all right? That is the MMRI. It is 246.5. And the beauty of this is, you and I know where the red line in the sand is. It's at 300. They let us know. They revealed their hand to us with Nick the Pig and Mary Dolly coming out, trying to blow sunshine straight up the crack of this market, and it worked. The Fed whisperer, Nick the Pig, saying, oh, come next year, oh, the Fed's going to start, easing back on their aggressive stance. They already started this. Okay, so Nick the Pig was right, followed up by Mary Dolly. Okay, and Greg Mannarino told you this before even Nick the Pig said anything. We knew this was going to happen. We know what they're going to do. And let me just let you in on another little secret. Even when the Federal Reserve, let's say, I believe we're going to get another 50 basis point hike, 25, followed by maybe another, then we're going to get a pause. Inflation is going to continue to rise. It's going to continue to go higher. Anyway, you know this already, people. No one is more on top of this than you are. Look, this guy here loves you a lot, and I mean that from the heart. I will see all of you at the end of the day. Please comment, share the video, and I'll see you later.